Howdy, howdy. Back at you again here today. Going to give you some garden updates. I have finished tilling up the potato patch here. Finishing waiting up from the eye up. Some of these are getting some really good eyes over here. These Yukon Golds are doing pretty good. This is the slowest one, and as you can see, it's doing pretty good. I got to give them about 3 or 4 more days. But I did want to talk to you guys about composting in poor soil areas like where I live myself. I live in the northeastern part of the Mojave Desert. You can see there's a lot of red sand around and a lot of gravel and dirt. Not a lot of soil, not a lot of trees. And because of this, there is a low lack of nutrients in the soil. There's not a lot of iron, not a lot of potassium. There's very high arsenic levels in the tap water. So if you live somewhere like me in the desert, nutrients in the soil is very important. So composting is almost what you need to do. I do 2 types of composting methods. One of them, I'll have to show you another day. One of them, I actually have a big bucket of compost that I make that I decompose over time. But another way I like to compost is I like to do direct bury. And this one here, it's kind of an experiment. You can see I have a compostable layer of some spinach and a lime and an orange peel in there. Now, one thing you want to make certain you be very careful of is putting citrus fruit in your compost, because citric acid can harm your compost in the end of it, but during the beginning of your compost, the citric acid will encourage the decomposition to move faster. Also, something very important you want to remember if you do a direct bury compost is the 2 most important things for a compost is water and oxygen. So you need to get yourself, I use this as barbecue skewer, and just poke it down in that bad boy. Just let some air get down in there and aerate it. It will decompose faster. But now, keeping that in mind, if you do a direct bury compost like these pots I have here in these 2 troughs, and that other pot that I haven't planted anything yet, I'm still waiting for them to decompose, because if you put them in too early, the material, the organic material you put in there during the decomposition process of the fungus and bacteria that does that will deprive your plants of oxygen, and it will kill and harm your plants. They will possibly not be able to grow. So if you have already done this and you want to try and fix it, here's what you got to do. Get yourself a spray bottle, like when you see just like hair care products in like a spray bottle, right? Get 1 part hydrogen peroxide, 4 parts water, and then spritz it not directly on the leaf, but on the roots and the soil around the plant. Just like 4 or 5 good squirts for a couple days, and that will help encourage some more oxygen getting to your plants. Yeah, that's really all I want to help you guys out with, some composting tips. If you do live here where I live in the northern part of the Mojave Desert, it will be 100 degrees from pretty much April to October. There will be about 30 of those days in the middle of June and August where it'll get 115 easy. We compete with temperatures with Phoenix all the time. So if you live a place like this, you do need to use things like that. I know I would love to just dig up some dirt and bury things like that, but unfortunately we can't do that with all the red sand in here. Another composting tip you want to keep in mind is when your compost is done. Remember I was telling you about burying it too early? Actually, I do want to show you my bucket compost I have over here on the other side of the yard, so I can show you a little bit what I'm talking about. So, this is not done here. You can see some mold growing over there. That's good. Don't be scared of it. That's what compost, if you don't decompose compost, you get it, it needs to decompose. Do not put protein products in here. No eggshells, no eggs, no animal feces except for approved ones like chicken and cow manure. We all know is good, but no dog and no cat, nothing like that. You want to just mainly stick to fruits and vegetables. And as you can see, what I was saying earlier, you want to only put citric acid fruits such as oranges, like you can see there, in during the beginning stages of your compost, because it will help accelerate the decomposition process, but the citric acids can harm your plant in the long term. So this, as you can see, is pretty empty. I have just used it to fill up several things in my compost. So I'm kind of starting back up here. You can see a lot of fresh fruits sitting on top. But with composters, there's this term they use, it's called black gold. And black gold, it'll look like potting soil. It'll look like this color, like potting soil color. And it'll go from brown to that. And that's how you know that all your organic material in there has properly decomposed and been made into a substance that plant can grow in that won't deprive it of oxygen. I'm sure you're asking yourself, but Joe, that looks brown. That doesn't look like black gold to me. You're right, it is, because if you remember, you can see all this red sand around me on that mountaintop here. That red sand doesn't turn black. That red sand can turn brown, but you can't turn red to black. That's just another part of the misfortunes of living in the climate that I do. So yeah, I put a lot of nice things in my compost. Put orange peels, potatoes. Once again, no protein-like things like eggshells and such. I put old tea bags, coffee grinds, and you want to make sure you stir your compost every single day. Every day you want to stir your compost, because oxygen and moisture is very important. And if it isn't moist, it won't work. If it's not oxygenated, it will not work. So yeah, if you need any more tips of composting and other gardening things, stick around. I got some more videos in the future, but that's just a small introduction to what I had going on right now with the compost and where everything's sitting at. So catch y'all next time.